the bank again. I'm over at my syndicate lake for the second time this season. Come over here last week to do a Friday night, Saturday night pack up Sunday, but it all went wrong. I decided to walk over here from my house and it took me 45 minutes, obviously with a weekend's worth of gear on my barra that would have took me about a 2-minute drive. And then when I got here, the path was absolutely soaked and flooded in water with all the rain we had, so I had to basically walk through literally 2 foot of slop and mud with my barra. Barra fell over, everything got all muddied up. I could have turned around and gone home then, but no, I carried on. Eventually got down to the field. Again, the barra got stuck in a load of slop and mud, and my mate Rick had to come over and help us unload the barra, move it 4 foot, sort of load it back up and then walk it around the rest of the lake. Then I had 3 eels Friday night after being absolutely shattered and tried going to sleep. That peed me off a little bit, so I changed over from the maggots to a boilies, cast it out mid-water and just basically just sat back and went to sleep. Woke up Saturday morning, had a cup of coffee, talking to my mate Rick, catching up with him, talking to my mate Colin, catching up with him, I've not seen for about 10 years, and decided to pack up Saturday night and go home. Purely for another reason is that my mate Rick decided to do me a favour. He drove me home. I got my car, drove my car to the first little turning in the road, and by the time he'd dropped me off and come back, I got my car. His van had got stuck in the mud, so I had to use my car to get him out, and there was me, Colin, Rick, shovels, stones, rocks, all shoving it underneath the tyres. We jacked the car up eventually, shoved a load of rocks underneath it, got it out, and I come back, packed up, went home. I was absolutely soaked in mud, so it didn't go at all to plan how I wanted it. But I'd give it a week, calm down. Obviously the hassle I had with a bait boat that I bought, I paid 230 quid for a bait boat, turned up, stuck it in a bath, tested it for 5 minutes, it seemed fine, paid the geezer, we went home, and I thought I'd give it a nice long test in the bath, check how long the batteries last and stuff like that. After 20 minutes it started sinking. Cut all the mastic off, took it apart. It was absolutely soaked inside. It had been bodged up, wire hanging off everywhere, masking tape sticking bits and bobs down. It'd completely done me, so I lost out on 230 quid. Luckily I knew someone that said he'd buy it off me and give me a little bit of cash for it, spares and repairs. So I lost quite a lot of money on that. That really did cheese me off as well. That was before the fishing, so I weren't really up for it at all. But it's been a week. My mate Colin come over here last night, back over to syndicate, and had a 19-pounder that hopefully I'll get the picture and show you in a little while. And say it's Sunday, I thought I'd come over here to do a short day again, just to put a little bit of bait in the water, get used to the water, have a little chit chat with my mate. He fished here quite a lot last year and done really well, so pick his brain on the place a little bit, and hopefully bag a few. If I don't, it doesn't really matter. The sun's out, and yeah, it's a lovely place. So what I'm going to do is just put the kettle on, make me and Colin a cup of tea, and go from there. I've got that sun glaring off the water right in my face. But yeah, I've got 2 rods out, both on the far bank. I'll show you that a little bit later. Thought I'd just show you the rig as well while I've got this one out. I've got tungsten tubing, probably about 3 foot, straight onto a Nash diffusion clip, one with a real short tail rubber and clip to lose the lead, just because it's quite snaggy where I'm going to put this rod over there. A little 1.5 ounce flying sort of lead. The reason why I've got it, probably just because of colour really. I've got some other leads, but I just picked this one out. Straight onto a quick link, a little bit of silicone tubing, and I'm using a big bit of PVA mesh on there, 35mm. It's got some Red Robin breadcrumb and stuff in there, a couple of boilies, and then some RR1. I've just got it chopped down. I've got some chopped up inside. They've not really seen this sort of flavour boilie or anything, I wouldn't imagine, not from bank and baits anyway in this water. But I'm just going to basically boat that out up there. So I sold my boat, but I bought my mate's boat off of him. So I'm just going to boat that down there a little bit, use full advantage of the fact that no one's to my left at all, and hopefully see if we can bag one of these absolutely cracking commons that are in here. So yeah, get this out, put the kettle on, and talk to you guys a little bit later. So hopefully we get one. It's mud free. We've had a couple of good decent days of sun. All the paths dried up. I managed to get my car all the way down to the path into the car park. So it was a 2-minute drive, a 2-minute walk to get to the lake, and everything's dry, nothing's wet. I'm happy. 2 rods are in the water, so let's see if we can get one. Right, I've moved. It's 10 o'clock. I've moved down to what I'm going to call the point on the Syndicate Lake I'm fishing. Purely fact it's got a little bit of points out in the front of the swim, and I think every lake needs a swim called the point, to be honest. But yeah, so I was a couple of swims away from Colin, but I've moved down now to the other end of the lake. Wind's blowing down now. Colin says it's deeper down here, but I've not actually used the depth finder on the boat yet. The batteries are dead, to basically contour the lake myself. I'll do that in the midweek. I'll probably do a little blog on it and show you a few details of the boat and the fish finder and that. But at the moment I've moved down here, sort of not cast out blind. I've took the boat out to a point of the tree where I see a carp crash out. First time I walked around the lake about 4 weeks ago now. Big common, really nice, big chunky common, come right out 2 or 3 times over a course of a couple of seconds. And my left hand rod's basically down there, little pink pop up about 1 inch off the bottom, little stick mix, and all I've done is put about 15 RR1 in there, but crushed them all up. No pellet, nothing like that at all, just that. I've took that down there and dropped that. The middle rod is over to a tree that's got like a green marker float or something hanging off of it, and it looks quite carpy, to be honest. It's got a nice bit of shade in front of it. It sort of comes in, contours round, so I've just gone in there and dropped it. Again, I don't know how deep it is. I don't know whether it was really snaggy or not. I pulled back a little bit and it felt alright, but I'm sitting here now thinking perhaps I pulled back, I might have, you know, just hooked the hook round a bit of crap or something, but I did have a little PVA stick on, so that should be okay. And then the right hand rod, I've literally just done the rail flicked to me right down here, sort of 3/4 of the way across the lake, and just thrown out about 5 little boilies around it. Again, I've done an oily little stick mix on that. Again, this sort of time of year the water's still cold, and I normally cut down on the oils that I put in the stick mix, but I stuck a bit more in and thought, you never know, you know, they might not have seen it in here and it could sort of make the fish a little bit inquisitive, get their head straight on it, you don't know. So right hand rod is 3/4 way across the lake, middle rod is sitting nicely under some bushes to the left, and the left hand rod is right down the far bank under a nice big tree. I'll show you them in about 3 or 4 minutes time, the spots. Oh, my old man asking how I'm getting on. But yeah, I feel a little bit more confident here. Again, it's not an easy water. I've spoke to 3 or 4 members and they've all sort of said, you know, 1 fish a time sort of thing in the summer is quite good. 2 fish is really good, and in the winter to get a take or even to get a couple of bleeps is a challenge, you know, in itself. My mate Colin done really well last year here. He was catching pretty much every time he come, but I think the most he had was 4 in 1 session, and that was over a course of a weekend. So yeah, actually getting a fish out of here would be nice. Again, I don't know the stock of the lake. I've been told there's a fish probably close on to 25 pound. There's not a lot of big fish in here, you know, there's 20s, 21s and stuff like that. Colin reckons that the main stamp of fish in here are about 15 to 18. Another bloke I spoke to reckons the main stamp of fish in here are about 10 to 15. So again, it is completely new to me. I've lived where I live for 5 years, and literally you could probably catapult a stone from my house and hit the bank. You know, it was that close. I didn't realise it was here. So now I do. I can get down there every now and then, put a little bit of bait in, trickle up some spots, make a few little spots myself, get the fish feeding on them areas that I know and confident. So of course when I do come down there and pop a bait on them areas, the fish should see it, realise that it's a safe area to feed, and hopefully bag the rewards. But like I was saying, you know, I don't know what's in here. Everything's going to be a surprise to me. It's going to be a challenge this year. So this is part 2 really of fishing here. But for you guys it's going to be Syndicate part 1. but for me this is, you know, part 2 of fishing. The first time was a bit of a disaster, as you know about, so really this is sort of like part 1 for you and part 1 for me properly fishing it. It's just a case of trying to pull one of these beauties out. A lot of nice commons in here, some cracking commons, and some good mirrors as well, I've been told. Some eels as well, so I had 3 eels the first time I was here the first night. Nothing big, all sort of all standard eel size, you know, that sort of size thickness. All picked up on a maggot clip, so I'll stay away from them while I'm over here. But yeah, it's meant to be a fantastic looking lake in the summer. All the back greens up and just all lovely green. There's maybe 3 or 4 patches of big lilies that come up, and you've got some reeds in front of me here, and there's a few other little patches of reeds. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it maturing. I'm looking forward to getting down a little bit more, and hopefully looking forward to getting a nice bend in the rod. Alright. Well, that's obviously my swim. The reason why I called it the point, obviously, because them little bits of reed there just point out, so there's the actual swim itself, but I've just gone on there. Right, the sun might glare it out there. You've got a tree there, and my right hand rod is just sort of out there. My middle rod, I'll zoom in. See that green thing dangling down there? That I would say is a controller float looking on here. I'm just in there, just with that little bit of cruddies on the water there. I'm not sure what that is, so no, I'm past that. Looking at it to my eye, that's actually quite far back. I am further in. I'm sort of further in around about there, middle of the shot sort of thing. Oh. But yeah, he's actually quite far away from where I'm fishing, quite deceiving on the camera really. And then my left rod, we'll walk down here, my left rod is the tree there. Let me zoom into it. Right in that little gully, just sort of in that little gully there. Locked up, really locked up. There's no way the fish is pulling any line off of the spool at all. I've got the line pretty slack, but it's more of an indication if fish picks it up, it's going to move towards it and then it's going to lock up. So I'm judging it that if the fish picks up my bait, it's going to move a little bit. Of course, it's going to lock onto the rod, it's going to tip round, tip's going to absolutely hammer around, and hopefully the fish won't get in there. But I've got quarter safe zone leaders on, so the brazen resistance ones as well, so I should be alright. And my mate Colin said they did pull out a load of snags last year and basically throw them all up the back. But this is the lake itself. As you go round, yeah, there's Colin up there, and of course you've got the island and stuff like that. There's my new toy. I bought that off my mate Colin, a Viper Mark III. It's got the Humminbird fish finder on it, got a solar panel, stuff like that, a couple of spare batteries. It's better than the boat I got, it don't leak and it works. So I'm happy. But there's my gear. Just walk you around up here quick. Right, basically, where that log is there, that is the back of the next swim. It sort of goes around this bush, and the swim's just round the corner. And then there's another swim literally right next to that. So, as it is at the minute, I'm just here. Nice and neatly tucked out the corner. My mate Colin's up there. There's no one else on the lake. We've got the whole lake to ourselves. And just waiting for them fish to pick up the bait. There he is. There's my mate Colin. Just chilling out. Well, it's been about 10 minutes since I last spoke to you. Made myself a cup of tea and a pop noodle, and just got a text off the old man. So how's it going? I said nothing yet, and then all of a sudden the right hand rod, couple of bleeps, pulled up, and that absolutely picture perfect, cracking 16 3/4 common. It's got a nice spawn belly, absolutely fantastic. Can't ask for it better. First fish out of there. I was hoping it was going to be a common, and it is. It's on the RR1, little pink fluoro pop-ups over some RR1 crushed up, not a lot, about 8 boilies crushed up out there on the boat, right underneath the little twigs and stuff. Absolutely perfect, cracking. Give a nice fight underneath the rod tip. Can't ask for a better start. Come on. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely spot on. Perfect mouth, absolutely perfect mouth as well. I'll give the hook wound a treat in a minute. Slip her back in the water. Hopefully she'll put another couple of pounds on, spawn out, and within a few years she'll be absolutely cracking. Perfect, real made up. First fish out of the lake. Probably one of the best looking commons I've had colour wise in a few years. Proper happy. Happy days. Right, it's been about 45 minutes, hour now since I had that fish. All the rods are back out on the mark. I just brought the right hand one in, put it straight back out again, pretty much where I was. About 5 or 6 little nutums back round it again. Got white pop up on that one, popped up about a centimetre, half an inch or so, and I've got some nutums with me, and I've thrown out about 10 nutums round it the first cast, about 8 round it the second cast. Obviously the nutums are a creamy colour, and I've got white pop up on, so the contours isn't too much different. And I'm just out there, and I've been told by Colin that that's where a patch of lilies come up, pretty much where he went, that's exactly where it comes up. So I'm hoping that the lilies are just starting to shoot out maybe, and the carp might be in there munching on some of the new greenery and new buds and that are coming up. So hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, maybe get something on that one. The middle rod, I'm going to keep exactly where it is. I'm not going to bring that in unless I get any sort of pickups or any ducks start diving on the bait, then I'll bring it in and boat it out there again. And say the left hand rod has gone back out to where I had that fish. Not as far in this time because obviously I had 2 knocks, the rod started bending round. I picked up and it was dead solid. I could feel the fish pulling, and I could also feel a little bit of grating. So I've come a little way back again, so I've not gone so deep into the trees. So hopefully it's still a patrol area. But I did bait up 3 times over there. I sort of took the boat out, dropped some boilies, come back, took the boat out again, dropped some boilies, come back, in and around the area that I am, a little bit further in, a little bit shorter. So now I've probably got about 40 boilies, but I crushed them up with my fingers, so it was just like a all sorts size boilie, and hopefully I've got a nice big area now. And I held the rod up and Colin took it out and dropped it exactly where I wanted it. So yeah, hopefully we might get another one in there later on today. Would be nice to get 2 fish first session out of here. That was, you know, I've been told that's a quite a good session over here. So like I said earlier on, I don't know how many fish are in here. I don't know the biggest size. I don't know whether they you pull them out at 6-7 pound, or you sort of pull them out at an average of 15 to 16 every day long, or all day long. Sorry, if you get them all day long. But as it is at the minute, I'm chuffed. I'm off the mark on the Loo Lake. 3rd time fishing this year. 2nd fish, and I'd probably say it's the 2nd time properly fishing, because I say last weekend was a complete disaster. But yeah, hopefully we'll pick one up on that again. It would be nice. I'm going to memorise where it is when I get home tonight. I'm going to draw a little map of the lake and pinpoint that sort of area, so next time I know, you know, I kind of know exactly where the area is, and start mapping out this lake. I've just made a cup of tea. I'm going to take Colin's cup up to him, and we're going to stand halfway between mine and his swim, have a cup of tea, and listen out for the optonics screaming off hopefully. So talk to you guys a little bit later. Right, it's 5 o'clock and about 15 minutes ago, middle rod, cut the little knocks, tip of the rod started to bend round because I'm locked up on them two rods. Pulled into it, absolutely solid, no movement at all, no sort of kick or fight back from the end, slacked off, left it for about 15 minutes, completely slack line, bow arm off, no line coming out, nothing at all. Picked the rod up, pulled back into it again solid. So obviously there's a snag out there, and unfortunately I did snap off. The thing that's really annoying as well is the actual line snapped from the reel, so there's probably about sort of 30, maybe 35 yards of line now in the water. That's a bit cheesed me off really. I'd rather it snap at the knot, but it didn't actually snap at the reel. It was really a pain in the backside. So I'm going to see if I can have a word with one of the bailiffs and maybe have a walk round, basically have a walk round the back of the lake to where I pretty much cast out, see if I can get a little mini rake or something like that, sort of just throw it in the water on a bit of line and pull it up, see if I can get my line and wrap it around a branch or something like that and just tug at it and see if it can obviously snap closer to, if not try and retrieve the whole actual rig, because I don't like leaving rigs in the water with hook bait on, let alone just leaving a rig in there as well, not with the amount of line that's in there. So really disappointed about that. So I'll have to come over in the midweek after taking the kids to school, have a word with the bailiff and see if I can get out and retrieve that. I might even be able to see what I snagged up on as well, because it was pretty close to the back bank. If I can, it might be worth getting some chest waders on, tying a rope to myself to one of the bigger trees on the bank and going out there and seeing if I can remove the snag myself. If not, have a word with one of the bailiffs, tell them it's there, and I know there's a work party due up soon. It might be something that you might consider doing, pulling out a snag that's over there. But yeah, pretty chuffed overall with the day. It was only a short day. I got here at 6 o'clock this morning, it's now 5 o'clock and I'm going to be home for 6, so I've done a 12-hour day, managed to pull one of the nice commons out. Right hand rod, nothing at all. It's been on the same area all day long, obviously rebaited up a couple of times, but it's been in the same general area and not a knock on that at all. And the left hand rod, obviously, that had the common, back out there on the same sort of mark and nothing at all. And obviously the middle rod moved from one area to the other, had a pickup, unfortunately lost it, lost the rig, as I was just saying. That's a kick in the teeth. But apart from that, yeah, it's been a nice learning curve. Wind's flattened down now, the lake's pretty much flattened off. I've noticed there's a breeze going towards that end of the lake, going that way now, where today it was hacking down and now it's sort of going over there. So you know, something to bear in mind, maybe this sort of time in the evening it does it every now and then, who knows. My mate Colin only had the one common that I'll try and get the picture of and put it at the end of this blog. He packed up at 4 o'clock, he was off the lake for I think it was about 4:30. Literally he sort of just walked away and then that sort of give a couple of double bleeps. It was literally seconds as he disappeared around the corner. But yeah, not a lot's been crashing, a lot of duck activity, a lot of rabbits and stuff. I've been watching them some of the time. But yeah, really cracking little place, close to home. Hopefully get a few more sessions on here. I'm going to get some batteries for me depth finder, the Humminbird depth finder, and I'm going to map out a few of these swims, and I'm also going to go over where that snag is just to see if it actually picks up any elevated, you know, if it's like 4 foot and goes straight up to 2 foot and then instantly drops down. That's telling me that you know, there could be like a tree stump or something underneath the water over there. It's one to mark on the little drawing that I'm going to do later on tonight at the lake, just to indicate that there is a snag there. But yeah, overall, generally chuffed. You know, it's not the best blog in the world. There's a fish involved. It's always good. You know, I've shown a little bit of the rigs and stuff like that. Didn't really show much of the bait. As a matter of fact, I didn't really show any of the bait. Next time I come here, I'll show you what goes into my stick mix that I've sort of using this year. Obviously, thanks to Castaway PVA to provide me with the PVA again that gets out there and dropping that little bit of PVA and that little bit of crumb where I had that fish earlier on. Again, thanks to Bankman Baits for providing the quality bait. And yeah, thanks to my mate for telling me about this lake after 6 years of him fishing it. He lets it slip one evening. But yeah, it's generally a nice place. I'm over on my own and it's dead quiet. Can't hear no traffic, no noise. Just over the back there, got some horse riding lessons going on. You know, it's generally a nice little place. Small lake, picturesque little lake in the summer. Got some cracking fish in here and hopefully we get some more of them. So all I'm going to do now is literally just pack away the rest of the gear, reel the rods in, you know, sort them bits out, give them a little quick clean up before I stick them in the bag, and get ready to go home. So happy days, tight lines for any of you lot that go on the bank between now and my next vlog. I hope you catch yourself a PB, and yeah, generally happy days. So talk to you guys later. Hit subscribe, hit the like, you know, comment or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. I'll try and get back to you. Remember, I've got a Facebook YouTube channel page that's SJ Carp Tackles YouTube page. Obviously my YouTube page that you know about. I've got the website that's sjcarper.webs.com. Go on there, I'll try and do a weekly update on that and post pictures and stuff like that, and there's a few of the blogs on there. And yeah, generally trying to make a not a living out of fishing, so to speak, but you know, it's a nice diary for myself and my kids and stuff like that to watch back in 20-30 years time. And it's obviously give some information to you guys. There's a few links on there at Bank and Baits, Lucky Ledge, you've got Churchgate Lake link on there and stuff like that. And generally, you know, it's something to read if you're bored one evening. And that's about it. So I'm going to finish packing up. Talk to you guys next time on the bank. See you later.